Hi, I'm Nash.
And I bet you're wondering how I got into the situation. I'm Nash. This nation is failing due to the Articles of Confederation. The government can't impose tax, and seeing as revenue is one of the fundamentals of government, which isn't great. In 1787, a continental convention is held with the delegates to fix the Articles. Instead, the convention creates the Constitution. This Constitution embodies fundamental democratic values, liberty, equality, and justice. Ideological values definitely not stolen from John Locke. The article ultimately failed due to a weak federal government that could virtually not enforce any laws or extract tax. The Constitution gave more power to the federal government, along with other changes including a bicameral legislation, as opposed to the unicameral one of the article. The United States is a democracy which is rooted in Athens, Greece. They had a total democracy or democracy where the people vote directly on the laws, which functioned mainly because Athens only had 30,000 members eligible to vote, while modern-day United States has millions, hence why the United States doesn't have a total democracy. Instead, the United States is a republic, or representative democracy, that elects people to speak for the people rather than have the people vote on the laws themselves. However, there's many types of governments beyond democracy and its subgroups. Hi, my name is Nash, and you're probably wondering how I got into this situation. There's monarchies, a form of government that has monarchy ruling. Leaders of monarchies tend to have high legitimacy as there is a defined predecessor and a change in power. Another government whose leaders have legitimacy are theocracies, such as ancient Egypt. The leaders are considered to have been chosen by God or gods of the religion they practice. Some governments, such as oligarchs and aristocracies, are extremely similar except for by a key difference. Oligarchs give power to the rich, while aristocracies give power to the nobles. Other governments are fundamentally different as they fall on opposite sides of the spectrum, yet still sharing a key similarity. Communism strives to make a classless system, while fascism strives for a nationalistic, highly class-enforced system. Both of these leads to a dictator's in charge. Lastly, there's anarchies or a lack of government. Unsurprisingly, these tend not to be ideal. I'm trying to enjoy reading the first three articles of the Constitution. Don't you guys already know enough about the government in America? There are three branches of government. Article 1 refers to the legislative branch, Article 2 is the executive branch, and Article 3 is the judicial branch. The legislative branch functions in a bicameral system that splits legislation into two houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives. Both of these houses still meet the goal for creating legislation, the laws. The Senate consists of 100 senators, 2 from each state, while the House of Reps has 435 members that come from the population of the state. Although you have to be at least 25 to run for the House and 30 to run for the Senate. The Founding Fathers originally intended for the legislative branch to be the most powerful, yet many argue the executive branch holds the true power in modern-day America. This is largely due to the president's power to make executive orders that, while not changing the laws, instead change the policy. Teddy Roosevelt was the president who increased their usage, using a large amount to create natural parks in America. The judicial branch, or those who interpret the rules, the Founding Fathers treated this branch as an afterthought in the third article of the Constitution. This branch power came from judicial review, or the ability to declare things as constitutional or not constitutional. This ability came from what's often considered the most important court case in America, Marbury v. Madison. Although you can't run to be a Supreme Court justice, the president has to nominate someone and then have that person to be confirmed by the Senate. The three branches are balanced as all things should be. The Founding Fathers put together a series of checks and balances to prevent one branch from being too powerful. For example, the president can veto bills from legislative, and legislative can overrule the veto with a two-thirds majority in both houses. The judicial branch can declare legislative branches unjust, and Congress can deny Supreme Court justices. Also, as mentioned, the executive branch nominates Supreme Court justices. Hi, I'm Nash, and I love Fortnite. You may be wondering why I'm allowed to say such a horrible thing. I'm allowed to say this due to my civil liberties and rights. The two words are very similar. The two are similar. Civil liberties are protections against government actions, while civil rights refer to positive actions of government should take to create equal conditions. Fire!
FBI, open up!
Although not everything is legal, you cannot not cause panic in public as it could cause harm to those around you, such as when the FBI said, Nash, you have the right to remain silent. According to the Fifth Amendment, this amendment also says you don't have to testify against yourself. Goodbye.
Just say goodbye.
Why are you still here? I'm trying to get news from a reliable news source that has no party affiliation or other apparent bias. The media plays a large role in how information is presented to the public. Certain sources have many biases that cause the information to be provided in a skewed manner. Therefore, it's important to consider what role the news source is trying to fulfill and if there are any inherent bias. Oof, this election isn't going so hot for my preferred presidential candidate who didn't secure 270 electoral college votes. Do you know what an electoral college is? Yes? Too bad. Back in my day or today, majority doesn't decide who wins the presidential candidacy. Instead, it depends on who gets the majority of at least 270 electoral college votes. The amount of votes per state depends on the population. If a president wins a state, they win the votes. Although in the past, certain electors have voted against their party, it's possible to win with just these states. Texas, California, New York, Florida, Illinois, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Georgia, Michigan, North Carolina, and New Jersey. Bye, I'm Nash. You may be wondering how I got out of this situation.